the ChatGPT agent. I think it's going to be like, this is an absolute game changer, where we had deep research, which would research everything and feed it back to you. You had ChatGPT as the brain behind things as well, where it would answer questions quickly. But now there's an actionable, basically a taskmaster who will actually do the specific task required. Hey everyone, back for another weekly update. How are you
Hey
keeping,
lads,
lads?
morning. Happy
Not too
Friday.
bad. All good.
Yeah, the countdown is on. You ready for all together now, Ryan?
I am very, very excited now. Very excited. There's more tickets actually went on sale this morning. A handful. I don't know if
I
you see that.
saw that after all my hard work trying to find them, they
I
actually did
know.
release them.
I suspect it could have been. There was a lot of people paying installments. I think the installments just ended, so I wondered if some people not finished their installments and it's some come free.
Oh,
That's
that
probably
makes sense.
exactly what happened. Yeah,
Yeah, but I think they flew out the door. I'd say there was very little, to be honest.
I think
yeah.
everybody was looking for them, though, weren't they? They were kind of
Yeah,
like gold dust there.
and no one I know got one even this morning. So it could have been 10
No,
tickets now for all I know that went on sale this
yeah,
morning.
it said very limited anyway. But yeah, I'm looking forward getting back in tent, having a few bevies. It'd
Yeah.
be nice. Yeah, let's get into the weekly discussion. So, this week in the news, yeah, this seems to be the biggest trending one. Is ChatGPT released their agents, and it's kind of a bridging research and action, so it can actually take over your screen. You can see it recording action. But to be honest, this one's so big, we'll put this into a deep dive in a little bit as well, and come back to it, because like that's a big one. Other things in the news that I spotted was WhatsApp. After 11 years of promising no advertising on WhatsApp, there is now going to be advertising in certain sections, especially on promoted channels and channel subscriptions and the ads in status. So, like, these are kind of examples of what's going to be shown. Now, it's only going to be on promoted channels. They still say we're respecting your privacy within the text and stuff, so no ads are going to show up in there. If that's always going to be the case, I don't know, but yeah, I put a link in there that we can
Could be
reference.
a slippery slope now.
Yeah, it'd be weird if you started having a conversation in WhatsApp about, I don't know, bottles of Corona, and then getting an ad for Corona.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that's when things are going to get a little bit scary. Where you say, okay, there. Now, I remember years ago we were in an office before, and we were talking about Corona, and all of us started getting Corona ads. We were like, they're definitely listening. Can't prove it, but
It's always the way.
um, another thing I spotted was, now this was actually maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, but I only saw it now, is the Symphony generative AI tools within TikTok. I saw the samples of the videos that they put together, where they'll like just upload a single product and they can turn the image to a video. It's absolutely fantastic how good it looks. I saw those people put like a dress up, and there's like a woman wearing the dress walking around in a video. Here is an example of a bottle
Mm.
just like on a beach.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy how good things are getting.
I
But they
think
text the video too.
Gemini, Google are after doing that for Gemini now this week as well, where
Yeah,
you can take images from your gallery and have them turn into videos. It's mental, like.
yeah. There was a client there who's a fashion brand, and they were uploading dresses. And next thing you know, they said they used and this is the feature within Google Ads. And they said, "Can you create, generate assets?" And they said, "Yeah, use the AI mode in there."
Mm.
And the dresses that they had was like a red dress, but it went on like a woman, and there's like a slightly older woman, a slightly younger woman. There's a woman on a beach, woman on a boat, woman having a glass of wine, and it was just like, God, imagine the amount. I'd be worried if I was a model. Thank God I'm not. But yeah, that must be absolutely crazy for product placement.
The
But
money, those business companies are saving too, like on hiring models, locations, just
it,
traveling there, like.
yeah, yeah, it is going to be crazy. Like, but what was the other thing that happened there about the AI? Were we discussing it? Where it turns out there was was it at Formula One or at Wimbledon? There was an AI model. It turns out that some influencer was AI.
Oh,
Oh, no way.
Talking about it, yeah. Might bring it up next week, but yeah, I saw something like that and it was crazy. But
I saw a thing in the news last week. It was Dublin Zoo used an AI image on a billboard, but there's a picture of a tiger, and the tiger has three eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is what would be happening whenever I generate something. Like even when we were using VO3 during the week, like I find I still get some terrible results.
yeah,
Yeah.
the prompts have to be so specific, I think, and you have to really make it realistic, make sure everyone has the right number of fingers,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
But it's like if the prompts are too detailed, then the VO thing gets confused and it doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, yeah. I
So it's
said, but it is crazy. Like this is early stages. What's going to
mm.
be like in a little bit?
Oh yeah, this is something I spotted. So Google are on a bit of an AI rampage this week now that the algorithm update is finished. So what they're doing now is they're after rolling out. It's only in the US at the minute, but the AI overviews in Google Discover. So basically, when you swipe to that screen to the left, instead of just showing you the little tiles with the trending stories, it gives you like the little summary on the top, like it would in an AI overview.
That's not going to be. News publishers are not going to be happy about
This,
that.
yeah,
So they're getting featured in the Discover tab. They have their story. They think they're going to get traffic through to it, but instead, Google is now going to summarize the news story, so people don't even have to click it
this
unless
and like
they
it's
want to.
hard enough to get into Discover at the best times. You know, you need really good site authority to get in there.
Yeah,
And now, if you do get in there, your click through rate is going to be, you know, decreased or whatever, decreased. And then, like, I don't know, now you have to structure your content for the user, you have to structure for AI, and now you have to structure it for AI overviews, and now for Discover AI overviews, you know.
yeah. I wonder this.
I
Like,
think the
I
word
haven't looked into the checklist on this at all.
I feel like summarizing things is like calling it a summary is like a way to get away with plagiarizing something. It's kind of
yeah,
what it
Yeah,
feels like, you know.
yeah. It's
I,
what they're just keeping people on the platform longer,
mm,
and that's their main goal. But that synergy between publishers and content creators is kind of completely being eroded now. I wouldn't
yeah,
be surprised if
they're really
companies like
leaning into AI. Like they're trying to blend it into every aspect of search, and even in like I see this week as well. You know, on the PPC side, you know, Google Ads, they're doing a lot of AI around that, like in the reporting and stuff, and Meta are the same. So it's like they're all leaning into it, you know, and I think publishers are just being dragged along.
yeah, there are going to be more and more complaints. We went over the routers article last week. I can only imagine what this one's going to bring about as well. It'll just be another paragraph in a legal lawsuit. But look, if Google was doing these things, it must be good for user experience because we're all attention. Our attention isn't very good anymore because of social media. So maybe this is just adapting to that trend and content for the skimmers and the people who are genuinely interested. Yes, they will go through, but when you rely on impressions for ads for your own revenue, like publishers do, that's not good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, another part of Google's AI rampage this week. They're after officially going live with Google Search can now use an AI to call a local business on your behalf. Like,
Yeah,
I think they announced this in January and it was in the Google Lab, but they're gone live with it this week again. It's in the US. So you ask the AI to do it, you get like a little form. So if you're looking for a dog groomers, it'll ask you like the type of dog, what you're looking for, like a washer, nail clipper, whatever. And then it calls the business, gets the prices, books you in an appointment, and feeds it back to you. So I mean, this is great for people who don't like making phone calls. You never actually have to speak to a human.
yeah,
Um, but I think like it's going to be massive for local SEO and for local businesses because you're not going to be the one answering questions and you're not going to be the one asking questions. It's going to be it'll be an AI interpreting it. So if you're a local business, you're going to want your information to be 100% accurate. You
yeah.
know,
business data is going to become so important with this, isn't it? Like making
Yeah,
sure your local Google business profile is up to date, the latest hours, all the different questions you're going to have to feed it. But some of these they'll be able to learn then off people asking these
yeah.
questions. But that's basically an AI agent for local business, right?
That's going to say it kind of touches on the agents we're going to talk about now in a little bit, but like because it kind of blurs the line between customer service and digital search. It's and it's probably like the future of customer service, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. This could actually kill a lot of businesses because I saw a lot. There's a lot of businesses out there have AI agents custom built using AI,
Mm.
but now it's becoming such a feature. Like these APIs, will, like a lot of people be able to build their own internal chatbots very easily.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. If you can use Google AI to call a business, there's nothing stopping a business from having an AI return a customer service call, and
That's
then
what I was
you
thinking.
can,
It'll just be AIs talking to
yeah,
AI.
it's just be,
Two bots arguing. I
that's
wonder if
what
you could make it haggle on the price.
that's kind of what I think about AI in general, because AI scrapes all the content from the internet, but now most of the content on the internet is AI, so it's just AI scraping AI, and AI is talking to AIs, and
And so on and so on
you're
and so
just
on.
going to be sitting on a beach eating burgers, earning 20%.
Hands. Oh, very good. Okay, so marketing tip.
Um, so our marketing tip of the week is just going to be some YouTube tips and tricks. I think it's last week we were came up with some question about how important YouTube is going to be these days, and we've been doing our own kind of research ourselves, like to try and see what are some ways kind of grow a channel quickly, or like what's the most efficient way to do it. So I was just doing some reading yesterday, and these are some of the tips and tricks we came across. So finding your niche is sort of a big thing. So a lot of this stuff too, I'll talk about him later, but came from Paddy Galloway. He's a YouTube strategist, and he said,
He's the guy that doesn't he advise Mr. Beast and a load of
yeah, he
YouTubers.
like advises Red Bull, I think the Eagles, American football team and stuff. He works with some really big,
Go birds.
yeah, some really big companies and stuff. So like, and he really knows his stuff. I think I don't know how they equated this number, but he's apparently responsible for like 50 billion YouTube views across
Wow,
people he's worked with. So like, I don't even know what that means, but it sounds good.
Good
that's
chunk.
pretty good.
But so yeah, he talks a lot about finding your niche. So like, one way he described it was find the intersection in a Venn diagram between what you're passionate about, what you're skilled in, and what's topical. So that's something we've been trying to kind of figure out as well. He says things like, use YouTube or use it like SEO, kind of use keywords in your file names, title descriptions, and subtitle scripts. So I thought that was very interesting. I didn't think the file name
The
for
matter, yeah, yeah.
matter going into YouTube, but things like that are also telling YouTube a lot. And the other thing which I thought was interesting is the subtitle script, because they were saying like that's basically a document telling YouTube as well what it's about.
Yeah, it's like an
Um,
optimized web page. Yeah,
exactly, yeah. So kind of treating YouTube like SEO seems to be another smart tip. Thumbnails seem to be just so important. And if like I kind of until I started reading about the ways to make them, and then I started looking back at YouTube and realized like they're all so similar, but it's all just high contrast, vibrant, faces showing emotions with faces in the thumbnail seems to be so important. A smiling face, a sad face, just showing some emotion, and then kind of just arrows and rings, and basically not making them too crowded. So you want enough information in there that gets across the like emotion of the video, the subject of the video, but not like overkill either.
this is
Uh,
why the feature is. You can tell the thumbnail is so important because they have a feature within YouTube that has a split testing feature for thumbnail use.
yeah,
So
yeah,
enhancing the click through rate is like one of the most important things. Then,
yeah. It's mad how important it is, and it kind of makes sense, I suppose. Even like when you're using YouTube on a desktop, like the thumbnail takes up a big part of that, the search results. Like when you're like so,
Hmm.
and it's again, I think I don't know what the figure is, but there's a figure for how fast the human brain analyzes images compared to text. It's like 60,000 times faster or something. Don't quote me on that. It's much faster anyway. So it's like that thumbnail is doing so much more for you before you ever read any text. So just how important thumbnails are is another tip. And I'll just skim through these last two. So engagement and promotion. So the ending cards, subtitles, subscribe buttons throughout, using playlists, links, all those things that YouTube offers you should use. It sounds like, they're very important. And then consistency and analysis. So
On the engagement side of things, isn't like the number one factor as well, besides the matching the search intent, isn't it like the watch time?
yeah, so retention is a big thing. So I think that came in when basically clickbait was a huge thing on YouTube, where people were just kind of scamming people into clicking their videos, and then that was enough back then. All you needed was the click, and basically the more clicks you had, you'd be on the top of the homepage or whatever. But after a while, they realized like people were kind of scamming the system, just having a mad thumbnail, mad title, and lying about what was in the video. But because they got the click,
Okay.
that was enough. So now it's all about retention and watch time. So that's basically, well, there's obviously other factors too, but the watch time and retention is a huge thing now. So
Okay.
Paddy Galloway also talks about that, like how important it is to keep people in your video, not just get them there, but keep them there.
Yeah, I
Um,
suppose a click is kind of meaningless if they kind of exit out after like 5 seconds.
exactly. And I don't know, do you remember back when that was a huge thing? I think it could have been around 2015. They changed the algorithm changed, but it was a massive thing before where people would just lie in in their YouTube titles and thumbnails, like completely lie. Um,
Like, this is the best dog video ever, and it's all cats.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Blatant lying, like. But yeah, a lot of this stuff comes from Paddy Galloway has a 12-step plan to building a YouTube channel in a year. It's actually very good. So we'll probably link to that. We'll link to that in the description of this.
Yeah, yeah, I got to follow him actually. He's maybe very good. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, he's an Irish man, like, so good to see. And there's actually a very good YouTube on my link as well. A good podcast, I should say. With I don't know if you've heard of Colin and Samir. They like kind of do. They have a podcast anyway where they
Yeah,
talk to a lot of kind of content creators like that. But they have a great podcast with him.
might have looked into.
So I'll link that as well. But yeah, there's some tips, some quick tips for YouTube.
Okay, brilliant. So yeah, look back to this deep dive side of things. Is the ChatGPT agent? I think it's going to be like this is an absolute game changer. Where we had deep research, which would research everything and feed it back to you. You had ChatGPT as the brain behind things as well,
Mm.
where it would answer questions quickly. But now there's an actionable, basically a taskmaster who will actually do the specific task required, which is crazy. And it's even multi-step workflows. It's not just like a single task. From the explanation video that we see on OpenAI, they say like this example here is like book me flights to New York, and it comes back and it'll go the whole way through booking the flights. The only thing it won't do is it won't put in the credit card details. You have to just take over that
Yeah,
yourself. And when I was going through it, it shows that you can take over at any time as it's doing things. So you could have basically what's going to happen is, and like if you have two screens, you have one screen with an AI agent, and then you're working on something else over on the left hand side. But e-commerce ordering, some of the stuff that I can think about that this will be very handy from a marketing perspective is like
mm.
imagine asking it to go and find price comparisons for a specific product. If you went in and had say you're selling a product and you want to put a sales price on it for a certain amount of time, yeah, you go in, have a look at my competitors, see how much they're all charging for a specific thing.
Could you use it to take over your social media posting or something?
I'd say that'll be definitely a part of it. It has to. Like I know we can use workflows like N8N, um, and Maker.ai to do kind of some of that stuff already, but it
Yeah,
seems though this, if you have access to it and has API access and control over things, yes, it looks like that will be part of the future of this. It's basically personalized virtual assistants where they can do these tasks. Some of the other things you could use it for is like email management. You could have it a personal assistant creating emails ready to send. There's also things like aid and workflow management, project tracking, and even document generation. If you need documents done, like we were talking about creating more SOPs, we could actually just get this to do a lot of that work for us, and we
yeah.
just have to check it and approve it and see if it's accurate. Like that's fantastic feature of this tool now. And
And I'm going to be negative here for a minute. Just in terms of some of the other limitations, let's say, of ChatGPT, like the hallucinations and the skewy information, would you be worried about that here as
no,
well?
there's going to be a lot of challenges, like definitely accuracy and reliability. So, like ensuring those responses are correct, predictable, and reliable, that's going to be massive.
Yeah.
The other thing is the transparency side of things. Are they going to explain and see if it's trustworthy? And you're going to have lots of privacy and security concerns, I'd say. If you're
Yeah,
giving these
like
agents
connecting an
access to
AI
stuff.
to your personal data is a bit.
Yeah, like what happens if it? I'm not saying this is something that would happen, but like what happens if it accidentally sends emails that you don't approve, that contain different incorrect information? If
What
you
is?
had like,
I'm gone. Sorry.
no, I was going to say if you had like two clients with the same name in the future, and you said, send an email to this client, is it going to come back and say, do you want it with this business or this business?
Yeah.
It might just send it to the wrong person
or to both of them.
or to both, which is even worse. So again, I still feel as though that final task before anything goes out needs to have that final approval. But still, I can already think of how this will be great in some ways, where find if you're an SEO person who's still doing kind of classical SEO and helping smaller businesses get a little bit of a boost. It says go find websites online that will accept business directories in the Irish market, as an example. You know,
Yeah.
Does it
and
sound a bit like the Apple Intelligence? Weren't they kind of talking a lot about this kind of thing, doing jobs for you, kind of on the iPhone?
I'd say they're all going to have this integration. Yeah, and Apple is it, and yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Well,
it's
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 this kind of notion of what's the word, agentic AI, isn't it?
yeah,
What's they're already Perplexity has the agentic AI browser where it what's it do? Instead of like bringing you back search results, it's supposed to like try and interpret and understand what you're looking for and bring you back the best result based on that. Literally, like a personal assistant would, rather than a search engine.
yeah. Like it's the reminder side of things. Yeah, and that could be there. I could see there's going to be real time integrations with this, so it's going to hook up through APIs. So like you could hook it up to your Salesforce, Asana, your Notion boards, your HubSpot, all those different
Mm.
things. And again, that's where when this actually does get in and people are getting, I suppose, used to it and trusting it a bit more, is that going to be the thing that helps take over some of the customer service questions? So let's just say an example of an email that comes in that says, "Oh, what's your refund policy? I need my refund. I bought this." If it's able to hook up to your database and see that that customer email is associated with a customer number and that order, I don't know, was lost or there was a damaged package, it might be able to send a response and you'd be able to trust it in that regard.
Okay.
But again, you're going to have to really, you're connecting it to a Salesforce side of things or whatever platform you're going to connect it to. There's a lot of sensitive
Yeah.
data and information in there. Again, this is where I feel a huge amount of companies are going to have AI governance coming into play and saying, are we allowed to have this integrated? Is it
Mm.
something that we want? Smaller businesses might be okay with it, but imagine if you had a huge business that had thousands of customers, thousands of personal data emails, you know.
Yeah. God, it's all very up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah, but some things I think would be great for, like,
Yeah.
client reminder emails might be something. Um,
Well,
Maybe
like
you're
we
able to
were
do
saying there
integration.
about like using it for basically outreach reasons. For you could have it email 20 or 30 prospects. Once it finds the prospects are on like a business directory, or you get it to find
You could
20
do, was it LinkedIn
niche
Sales
websites.
Navigator? You
Yeah.
could have it hooked into that. Yeah.
And then like find 20 niche websites where you can get a backlink, and then you can have it automate the email and send it out to people.
Yeah.
Kind of write me a pitch, create a template, and send it out.
The customer service one as well, I think is like, it's going to be massive. Like imagine if there's like customer service emails coming through and you had an AI agent doing the responders, the auto responders, putting in the task that actually go to a
Mm.
genuine, real customer service agent. But they can sift it through, prioritize high priority, low priority. Any low priority ones, you could probably like do a direct answer to them. But yeah, it's like how complex this is going to be to set up, but it's going to be a learning curve anyway at the start. Anyway, I
Yeah.
believe. But yeah, that's short term. Like in the first 1 to 2 years, it's going to be about personal productivity, customer service support, maybe enterprise integrations. Like I said, with the CRM tools, I'd say in the midterm, you're going to have domain specific autonomous agents. So specialized agents for, I don't know, like maybe financial forecasting or um, symptom monitoring for patients. There's going to be so many real world uh, use cases for this.
Yeah.
But the long term is going to be the advanced autonomous coordination, like looking through and seeing, managing complex systems like logistics, supply chains, and you can only imagine how Amazon will be able to use some like this technology to kind of fuel their delivery and their customer support and everything. It's going to be crazy. Like. But I wonder at some point about the strategic decision making capabilities of this in the future for companies and how it's going to integrate that way. Yeah,
Yeah, interesting.
lots to think about.
Let's replace all our brains with an AI agent.
Lots to be terrified about.
So, well, if Neuralink comes in and then you could plug in the AI, you'll be like a supercomputer going around the place. What was that? There was a film like that, wasn't it, where your man connected to the internet and knew everything about someone? Was it John? I know Johnny Mnemonic was the one where he had the storage of information, right? Keanu Reeves,
Oh,
a few
jeez.
years old that one.
You're going back a long time.
Too long back.
I'm not even going to try and pretend I know this one.
Jeez.
Yeah,
1995. Keanu Reeves and Dolph Lundgren. There you go.
yeah. Oh,
Ah,
what a time to be alive. Were you born? When were you born? Right?
no, 2001 is when I
2001.
2001.
2001.
Oh my god.
Jeez. Like, you missed Italia in 90. You missed the US World Cup in 94. Big
All the
tournament
World Cups.
99. Jeez. 98.
What about this one then? This is our random trend of the week, I suppose. Our shadow deep dive. I thought this one was absolutely
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
about how it exploded on social media. Um, won't get too much into it, but yeah, I saw this on Newsweek. Some CEO was caught hugging a head of HR and believe it might be an affair because the internet went into digging mode.
I think the reaction as well, he completely ducked out of the camera view very quickly.
Yeah,
And then the people around them were all like, oh shit.
Or Chris Martin actually said it. He was like, they're either having an affair or
they're
they're
camera shy. Yeah,
Well, I saw a thing, a lot of people tracked him down on LinkedIn and they were kind of jeering him on LinkedIn, which I thought was a bit much now, to be fair.
it's just everyone. But yeah, look at the trends. Like in the past 24 hours, there were like 20,000 plus searches for the CEO's name and all the related search queries then below it, which was I thought was even more insane. So like the company he works for, geez, they're even looking at his wife, the secretary, or no, the head of HR.
the
People
Coldplay
looking at his
affair.
net worth, everything. Yeah,
Is that US or is that global?
that was just in Ireland.
Oh, go away. Can see that chronic venous insufficiency. It's the third trending. I think Trump had swollen legs at something at the Club World Cup final. So everybody was speculating, but they've come out and said he has this chronic venous insufficiency,
Oh, no
which
way.
is what's causing the legs as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's there in Ireland.
Yeah, and we were talking about this guy, Felix Baumgartner. He was
Yeah,
the Red Bull guy, right?
yeah. Famous daredevil.
Yeah, he jumped from the edge of the world, didn't he, or from the edge of space? He broke the what you call that thing?
Awesome.
Stratosphere, is it the jump or
Yeah.
the longest jump? Yeah. Okay.
And then
Yeah.
Connie Francis, she's a singer. She's an old singer. I presume she's after passing away. R.I.P.
Yeah. Oh, oh, look, I suppose there's a learning curve in this one. It's like don't go to Coldplay concerts.
Yeah, just to get back to that. Finish up on that. Don't go to Coldplay concerts. You'll be consciously decoupled. Is that what
Yes. Yeah.
Chris Martin?
Conscious uncoupling. Yeah. Okay. The helpful tool of the week.
Screaming frog.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Kino, this is a SEO favorite, isn't it?
Ah, it's my
Industry
favorite.
favorite. Good old, yeah, Screaming Frog. Um, yeah, it's a website auditing tool, and it's
Yeah.
one of the best.
Yeah, look, for me, whenever we do it, if I need to have a quick look at a website just to see if everything's all right from an indexing point of view, put it in. First thing is, if it's not able to crawl a website, then do you know what? You got to check that
Yep.
robots.txt, make sure there's nothing blocking it. Um, and yeah, it's like my favorite, definitely. I love some of the features that it has, not only going through and having a look at, like, okay, from figuring out title tags, figuring out 301 redirects, all the different issues that it'll bring up, like 404 pages or title elements missing, all those small little ones that can have a big impact over time.
Yeah.
But they've gotten so, like, they've really listened to the SEO community and, like, inputted new APIs, which would be an example. They have one now which you can integrate with, like, Lighthouse, and you can get real time crawls of each page to get, feedback on how long a page takes to load. I love the crawl visualization tools where you can actually see specific
Yeah.
subdirectories and if there's issues. That's definitely one of my favorite parts of it. Exporting is like one of the first things we do when we take on a
Yeah.
project from SEO is export the entire website from Screaming Frog directly into our Google client drive folders, so we
Yeah.
can have a snapshot in time of all the errors that we
Yeah,
can
it's nice
fix.
for the record because if you make any changes, titles or anything, you have them. You can check against the original Screaming Frog. It's great.
Yeah. One of the things I love as well on a yearly basis is I look for, say, if there was anything with 2024 in it, what you can do is you can do a crawl where you can find or pull information anywhere on a website where 2024 is mentioned. And you can pull it out and then that those articles need to be updated. Like, there's so many use cases you could use for Screaming Frog, but
And
yeah.
what's also great is the free plan. You can crawl up to 500 pages.
Yeah, yeah. Look, brand new
For
websites.
a lot of small businesses mightn't even have more than 20 or 30 pages, so it's a great way to.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, without a doubt. Yeah, as those again, they don't charge too much. The reason being is you use your own. It's a system you download to your own computer, and you're not using, like, the cloud side of things. But yeah, to me, it's an underrated tool in SEO, and it's something most people should kind of think about. Now, it is very technical, and you do need a bit of SEO knowledge to use it. But yeah, without a doubt, top tool. Great one for the week. All right.
Right.
Did we
Ask,
make the joke?
ask the experts. Don't say it. Don't say it. So we've got a nice few questions this week, so we'll run through them one by one, and you can kind of pick and choose who wants to take them. So the first one: do you think AI agents will replace marketers in the future? Dun dun dun.
Oh, Mark, you take that one.
Um, no, I think you'll always need a human person in there to do a lot of the work, but I think AI agents can supplement a lot of it. Kind of like what we were saying in the ChatGPT agents. I think you could automate a lot of tasks, but I think you'd still need a person in there to oversee things.
Yeah, yeah. The way it is, you're going to become an orchestrator as a
Mm.
marketer, and the agents are going to be the band making the music. So
Yeah,
That's
because
actually a
I
nice way of
mean,
putting it.
yeah,
AI it's just another tool, really. Like in all, excuse me, like all the different applications of it is just another tool. I mean, it'll save you time and it can probably automate your kind of repetitive tasks, but you wouldn't really trust it with, I don't know, if you had to do like a massive client audit or presentation or something,
you're
you
still going
wouldn't.
to have to review. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. You're not going to hand it over to AI. So,
yeah,
do I think AI just will replace marketers? No. Do I think that they'll be good to supplement and replace a lot of the boring stuff? Yes.
yeah. It'll just give marketers a better opportunity to kind of focus on the tasks that matter, really.
Yeah.
More about creative ideas, approving. And if it does get to a stage where you can trust these AI agents, to be honest, that Skynet's going to take over the world. So
Can't wait.
don't want to get to that. Ryan, that's a Terminator 2 reference.
Oh, yeah. Thanks,
I
guys.
want to hang on now. You definitely weren't born for the first Terminator because that was 90. I wasn't even born. That was 1984. Let me
I wasn't
see.
born for the second one either, was it?
I
No, definitely
don't
not.
think you are actually.
No.
Jesus, Ryan, you gotta age you up, buddy.
Right. Next question. What year was Terminator 2? No, I'm only joking. Uh, so, how are marketers responding to the increasing lack of data available because of privacy settings and GDPR?
I can take this one. So, look, there is. I've mentioned privacy revolution too many times now. It's just something I constantly talk about. But there are all the different platforms like Facebook. It asks you, do you want to be tracked? And most people, like 90% of people in the US, said no when it came out. You have GDPR banners that are in place, people visiting your websites. But look, marketers are going to have to make decisions on the data that they do have, but they will just have to report and say, look, this is only partial of the information that we have at hand. It's a percentage of the real world data. We might only have 60% of it, but we have to make our marketing decisions on the 60% and the majority of things that happen in that. Example of that would be your GDPR banners. If there's 1,000 visitors and you have a 20% opt out rate, you're only getting 800 visitors, and the data that they have, you're losing the 200 people that have opted out. Now, there are problems with that where the 200 people that opted out, maybe 50% of the people that opted out actually bought. Um, and then the 800, only 100 of the 800 people bought, but 100 of the 200 people bought. So there's things like that we have to realize are happening. I think that reporting on your banner is a really good way as well to say, look, at the start of any monthly presentation, I've mentioned this before, say there's 1,000 visitors went to the website according to our banner, and 80% opted in, 20% opted out. And at least then you're kind of setting a prerequisite to your stakeholders that this is happening. Now, there are other considerations in this. I think you have to, as a business, you're going to have to make a few more decisions around correlations, where if you're launching a Facebook campaign and all of a sudden in the back end of your Shopify, your website, you've gotten an extra 30 sales in that time period compared to when you didn't. It's a pure example. You're going to have to say, okay, the Facebook, during that period we spent X, but our sales and our revenue increased by the same amount. It's going to have to be a call on marketers, but you're going to have to keep a good record of when you're launching campaigns. Use your GA4 annotations to keep a track of that information as well. But yeah, it's a you're going to have to respond in, is revenue increasing? It's like what happened in traditional marketing. If you put out a newsletter or, you did a TV advert, there wasn't an exact amount of tracking in that. We're going back to that era in a lot of ways, but we just have to utilize the data that we do have.
Okay. Right. So, how much should companies spend on advertising?
Jeez, that's a big question now.
Yeah, that it is. It's a big one, and the answer will be it depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, look, if you're doing Facebook advertising, they're saying you need to be spending €100 a day to get a certain amount of data, but that's not always true. People do things called a cup of coffee budget, which is they spend $5 a day on Facebook and they end up getting a load of sales and a load of leads. Generally, what you're going to have to do is, depending on your niche and your industry, you're going to have to see how much a customer is worth, how much it acquire, or what is the minimum you could spend to acquire a customer, the maximum you could spend to acquire a customer, and kind of reverse engineer then your budgets. Now, you could also look at the lifetime value of a customer. An example might be if I'm a service-based business, or if I have recurring revenue off a customer. Let's say I'm a carpenter and I want to get a customer, and the customer's only spending €100, right, for a job, or maybe €1,000 for a job. Well, I'd be okay spending €100 if he was spending 1,000. Maybe it's just cutting into my profit basically. If I'm a service-based business that has a retainer, say I'm like a business consultant, and it costs me €1,000 to get a customer that's spending €1,000 in the first month, but that customer will then go on to spend 12,000 in the year, then I'm okay with spending €1,000 to acquire a customer. So yeah, look, you do have to start doing a certain amount to get testing to see if ads work. So how do? You really need to get your benchmarking in place. That's something that's important as well. So I'd be wanting to spend, if I'm doing a marketing test to see if an advert's running, I'd like to spend minimum of like maybe 50 a day, but that's my industry. It'll
Yeah,
just depend on the industry, and you have to really get planning on it. But
I
setting
think
up and getting your benchmarks is important.
like if you're B2C or B2B, it's probably going to be different as well, because if you're B2B, you're going for a more kind of targeted audience, where if you're B2C, you're probably likely to spend more like retail and stuff, because you're going for a wider consumer base.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ecom, you can tell, what your ROAS is, even though some companies are saying ROAS is a killer. If you keep using it, you need to judge on your um, overall abilities to build the business and brand within a certain budget. But ROAS is a good way of looking at it. How much costs to acquire a customer, how much customer spends. You really need to get those benchmarks in place. But there is no like one figure. Just for us, it's probably like 1,000 a month. Would be minimum that I'd want to spend, because I know that that'll give me information on the ads that we launch. It'll give me feedback on how many customers I can get for that, and then I can make better decisions going forward. But yeah, long question.
Right. So
Next
the
week's
next
deep
one.
dive, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you probably had that in the wrong place. So is bounce rate a ranking factor for
Is
web?
bounce rate a ranking? No, it isn't. I think this is one of those. We should have had this in the SEO myths from last week. I think this is one of the biggest SEO myths. It isn't a direct ranking factor, and I think Google have said for years that they don't use bounce rate in any of their algorithms. Like a high bounce rate mightn't even be a negative thing. Someone might land on the page, find what they're looking for, and bounce away. I think what Google pays a bit more attention to is, what's the phrase, Keen? Is it pogo sticking? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, yeah. It's pogo
Someone
sticking
clicks on
and
the link,
dwell time.
and then sorry, yeah, when someone clicks on your link, lands on your page, and then bounces back and goes to somebody else's page, like that'd be a bigger signal to Google that your page is dog shit,
Yeah.
essentially.
I was at a conference before actually where Rand Fiskin and Moz, and they asked people to. They said, "Can everyone go to Google and type in T-shirts in New York?" And on page 2, there was, I don't know, I can't remember the name. It was like, say, Jeff's T-shirt company was on position 12, and they said, "Can everyone go to Jeff's T-shirt company, go onto the page and visit like 3 or 4 pages, stay on the website for a certain period of time?" And then he said, "Okay, now can everyone close their browsers? Now can everyone Google the same thing and type in Bob's T-shirts?" And Bob's T-shirts was like position 3 or something. And he said, "Can everyone go onto it? And then can everybody leave? Don't do anything. Just go straight back to the search results." And what happened was, like within 24 hours, Jeff's T-shirts went from position 12 to position like 2 or 3, and Bob's T-shirts went down to like position 8. Now, that's kind of what I remember happened, but yeah.
Yeah,
So like that was a proof, and I think there was a Google leak as well in those Google leak docs where they said that that engagement time was actually part of it, but yeah, so it's not a ranking factor, no.
yeah, but I would say keep an eye on it anyway, because it might point
Yeah,
to something else. Like, I don't know, it could point to issues with like loading page speeds. Yeah, it might look shy on mobile, or it just might be totally irrelevant to the search query. So definitely keep an eye on it.
Right. And finally, what is the difference between SEO and GEO? GEO.
yeah, generative engine optimization. So again, this is the AI, and there's like so many. There's AIO as well, AI optimization, and
Yeah,
there's a load of
depending
these different acronyms.
where
Yeah,
you read, I think some people will say it's the brand new future of SEO, whereas other people will say there's absolutely no difference. It's
yeah,
just
yeah. It's like the fundamentals,
yeah,
especially when ChatGPT are using Google search and their listings. It's still SEO. Like all the different tasks in SEO, GEO uh, might be. You could say that GEO has more formatting, but that's part of SEO as well. So it's just a trend that's going on. Do I think it's going to be SEO is going to be the key term, or in the future is it going to be something like AIO or AI search? I have a feeling like AI search optimization is just going to be the new phrase in the future. But yeah, it is just SEO. And anyone who thinks that GEO is like, if there's a certain algorithm and they forget about all the stuff that SEO has to do, they're not going to do very well in Google. Like they are any AI search, they still have to have those things. But the difference is, if I had to consider it, is more people talk about formatting for search engines in GEO. But to me, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
just,
like it's
there's a.
just sorry, man, go on.
I was gonna say, I feel like some of the videos I saw about Geo, because that's kind of how I came across it, were they were definitely it was a bit of fear mongering. Like these same videos are being like SEO is dead. It's now
Yeah.
Geo. You need to do this, that, and that.
Dead
So,
for years, isn't it?
SEO died in 2011, 2013, 2015. It's always dying, but at the same time, what is SEO really? It's making your website more user friendly. It's creating content for users. It's marketing for your website. Right. So I don't feel as though it's dying or it's completely ever going to die,
I
because
think
these tasks would always have to be done.
GEO is just a bit of a buzzword at the minute, and I think it gets clicks or zero clicks or whichever comes up in the overviews.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of all it is.
Should
But
we create pages for our website speaking about it? Yeah, we probably should.
the
Because
title
if
of this
if
video
there's
will be
search volume,
Geo.
yeah, if there's search volume and a load of people start saying GEO optimization, I definitely should create a page, because it's the same thing, but it's just the user might have heard this instead of SEO. And maybe SEO was getting a negative connotation, and now we have to optimize web pages on our websites for AI search optimization. But yeah, generally same thing. But yeah, that was a longer one than usual, guys. But yeah,
GEO
um,
49.5K searches in so
yeah,
much in the US.
yeah, it's going to be a big part of it. And look, if marketers keep talking about it, it's obviously going to trend more. And if people keep saying SEO is dead, it is
That's
going
not
to.
going to help.
Yeah, we should create a page called SEO is dead on our website to try and optimize for it. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And again, you can follow us at Ardú Digital for anything. Yeah, and we'll be putting out these. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, lads. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks, lads.